I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everybody to the Rockingham County Commissioners meeting of July 20th, 2023. In attendance, we have Linda Babcock, we have the High Sheriff, Rebecca Sayers, we have Allison Krakowski, we have Commissioner Boyle, we have Commissioner Dew, we have Dayla, we have Chick Nicholson. And in Zoom, we have Robin Bernier, we have Catherine Mann, we have Kathy Stacy, and I can't think of everybody else. I'm not sure who else, Megan. And I forgot her last name, Megan McGowan, in the county attorney's office. We have Michelle Schmidt, nursing, long-term care, and we do have Jason Smith.
Who's on
See him?
vacation,
On vacation.
still,
All right,
his dedication to the
Wow.
county knows no bounds.
awesome. We have Superintendent Henry with us. And AJ Lassoff. I don't know who he's with, if he's a guest or what, and then we also have. Yeah, actually, AJ, do you wanna let us know who you're with?
Yep, with New England BioClean.
Okay, you're looking for that, okay. And then we have Tom Tomarello as a guest as well. So with that, let's start with some opening. Oh, actually, before I do that, the sheriff's office has requested that we take up their items first, if we don't, without objection. He's on a tight schedule.
But we can wait a little bit, so, because I don't have to,
You're all set?
I'm good till like 10:15.
Okay, okay, all
Oh, well, we'll be,
right. So
yes, but we're going into,
Hopefully, it's gonna be a fast meeting.
no, I mean, we have well, we'll see, but we have to, well, if we have non-meeting with council at 10. So if we'll adjust if you're not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no problem,
okay,
thank you.
All right, let's go to the order here.
I move to authorize the senior director of facilities planning and IT to review, evaluate the proposals and return with a recommendation.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? If not, on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
I vote yes. Are we moving the 365 subscriptions?
We're going to open them
We're gonna open it. Yeah.
and then we can make a decision of the 365 and the 40 care, we're gonna award later in that's what's.
Gotcha.
So 5 and 6 are gonna be for care.
All right, so I'll take a motion on it.
So with respect to the 365 subscriptions, and move to authorize the senior director of facilities planning and IT to review, evaluate proposals and return with a recommendation.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Do we have any discussion? If not, on the motion, Commissioner Coyle?
Yeah.
Commissioner Godu?
Yeah.
I vote yes.
I'm just looking, sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
taking
okay.
a minute to
All right.
ensure that,
Somebody's got a really nice hand.
they're all good ones. Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you, Leila, for even the.
You want me
Okay.
to check out that box for us or what?
No, okay.
Thanks for putting yet.
Okay.
Final latex glove.
I move to authorize the senior director of facilities planning and IT to review, evaluate the proposals and return with a recommendation.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there discussion?
Yeah.
Not on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Yes. So rare to have an actual opening. Okay. That's it. Yeah.
Should we open?
Okay, we can move on.
Custom hinge door memory box.
I move to authorize the senior director of long-term care services to review, evaluate the proposals and return with a recommendation.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? If not, on the motion, Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I vote yes.
I move to table numbers 5 and 6 with regards to awards at May 7th.
Motion's been made to table 5 and 6.
Second.
Seconded. All those in favor, I'll just do roll call, vote 5 and 6, David. Commissioner Godu?
Yeah.
Yes.
I vote yes. Go on to 7, service contract, refrigerator freezer.
I move to award the proposal for service contract refrigerator freezer to Alliance Group for an amount not to exceed $7,980 for a period of 1 year as recommended by the Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Just that from looking at the support, that Alliance Group had a lot of good referrals from New Hampshire, either nonprofit schools or just good references.
Further discussion? If not, motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Foil?
Yes,
Vote yes. Search and rescue grant, night vision equipment for the sheriff's office.
I move to award the proposal for search and rescue grant night vision equipment to Night Vision Incorporated for an amount not to exceed $7,325 as recommended by the high sheriff.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I do.
Commissioner Foil?
Just, there seemed like a huge range in
Prices.
pricing.
And
So can you just explain that in?
night vision is very complicated. What it really comes down to is the tubes that are used in it. So there's a difference between what's called white phosphorus tubes and L3 tubes and Harris tubes. And apparently there is just an insane amount of variety and pricing based off of the quality of field of view tubes you get, because these things are hermetically sealed and injected with nitrogen and all these other gases, and then they have to individually test all these. So you don't know what actually a set of night vision tubes is going to cost from a manufacturer until they put out the spec testing on it. And so that's why there's usually a varied price in the differences.
So how did you then select, in the range of, so there was it seemed like it was bifurcated between some that were very expensive, and then there were a number in the range of 6 to, and I will say 10,000, though I understand that the
Yeah.
grant only awards. So how did you choose this one comparative to some of the others in that within that range?
Tried to get the highest quality one we could within the grant allotment that we were awarded.
And how, I assume that, I mean, that's everything. How did you do the research on which is the highest quality?
So Captain Lucier, who's the team commander that handles all of that equipment, he had to do a lot of research to figure out what exactly is the difference of these specs. And so he had ended up having a conversation with a night vision manufacturer that manufactures some of the tubes before it gets to the end users, to ask what am I really going to see in a difference in this, and what numbers are actually matter to the end user for quality, not just to say, oh, it has this spec, but I have no idea what it does. So the captain really took that on board to make his recommendation.
Further question? If not, on motion, Commissioner Foil?
Yes,
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I would vote yes. All right, we're on to consent agenda.
I move to approve the June 29th, 2023 and July 6th, 2023 public and non-public meeting minutes.
I'd like to amend that motion. I'd like to table the July 6th public and non-public meeting minutes, because we didn't get them till 9:45 last night, and I haven't had time to read them. So I can't approve something I haven't read.
On this amendment, you okay with that?
I'm okay going forward. I reviewed them.
You're okay going forward?
Did you read them?
I did.
Yeah, I didn't have time. You have a chance to read them? They came in at 9:45 last evening.
Well, I mean, I think it's thank you. It's been so kind of Leila to get our minutes done before the meeting, in light of the fact that she was on vacation, not present for the meeting, and then came in. So
She's doing a great job with it.
Right.
I have no criticism of that, but I simply haven't had enough
That's-
time to read them,
Sure.
so I can't approve them.
that's fine.
All right, I'll second his amendment. I think he has to fight. to
It's
review
fine.
them.
It's no issue.
So,
Okay, so
on
I'll
that,
just
so
make
just-
why don't I just make a new motion?
Yeah.
And I move to approve the June 29th, 2023 public and non-public meeting minutes.
Second.
all right, so motion is on the floor and seconded. Any further discussion on the 29th? Is there any additions, subtractions?
Nope.
So on that motion, Commissioner Porter,
Yes,
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I will vote yes.
and I move to table the July 6th, 2023 public and non-public meeting minutes to the next meeting.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? If not, on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
Vote yes. Just moving to July 6th.
Mhm.
Table.
Oh, yes. Can I just I just need the,
Can you define that?
yes, thank you. I missed that. I move to approve the payroll expense in the amount of $1,380,553.75 for the period ending July 15th, 2020.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, on that motion, Commissioner Coyle,
Yes,
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Okay, so now we've got in our packets, adult medical daycare payout report is in your packet, it's information. Does anyone want to speak on that at all? Everybody's okay with that?
what I think we're seeing, which is a good thing, is that there's more utilization. That, and hopefully we'll continue to see that. What I think is when we look at the last fiscal year, it was underutilized. Part of that's coming out of COVID.
Right.
And I think what we're seeing now, I mean, we have a number of requests this week coming up for grants, and I think this is exactly what we want to see happen, right? We want to see people utilizing the program.
Any further discussion on that? Now we're gonna move on to the nationwide employee engagement program, which is informational. We had that in the packet. Does anyone want to speak on that? And if not, we're gonna move on to liaison reports. I would go with Commissioner Coyle.
Well, let's see, so, with the, at the jail, we're seeing the summer push is coming in. Although our population is at 150, we just had 27 intakes. So what's happening is even though they're being processed through, they're coming in, 27, because of their being PC, put into protective custody mostly, or being arrested and arraigned the next day and being released. But the number of intakes really does summer, yeah, it's the summer intakes of Hampton Beach, yeah. Impacts of Hampton Beach, we did anticipate coming in, it's here, but it does put a lot of increased burden and pressure on the officers doing the intake and processing, and so there's that. Fortunately, there's no COVID, and we had 3 hires this week and a few more in the pipeline. So our efforts we're growing, which is exactly what we've been hoping to do, and it's sort of been a slow but steady gain. So that's a very good thing. The finance department is business as usual. Welcome back, Chuck.
Thank you.
He did his well, not transcontinental, but trans-south almost pilgrimage back, and things have been very busy, ongoing, and just sort of reconciling the end of June, the end of the fiscal year, and now moving into fiscal year 2024. And finally, I'm gonna, I don't think everyone was here last week, but the announcement, you probably all heard, the nursing home was deficiency free again. It is 2 years in a row, which is remarkable. We had 8 surveyors here, 8 coming in to look for 8 under, there's 800 potential categories for citation. And we were deficiency free, which is remarkable because after being deficiency free last year, you could predict that they would be coming in with a high level of scrutiny, and they did, but still deficiency free. Only county thus far that is deficiency free. We are the 4th or 5th now in the line. Really credit to Jason and Michelle and the whole team. I know we had Michelle, really thank you for all the efforts and the way you stepped up. Well, we had some people out on leave. Jason has really come in here and totally revamped infection control and processes for oversight. And this is in conjunction with changes to the nursing home guidelines that require stricter requirements. So it is, and it's not just Jason and Michelle, everybody, the care and consideration for our residents. And this is just one metric of how the residents are cared for. So
now my understanding is the reward is that we get the feds to come in now. Is that right?
potentially,
That's not to say it's a reward, but.
That's after
That's after year 3.
Great, okay, okay.
They don't want you, Commissioner, they don't want you doing too well because that's not looking good in their mind.
Right,
So
right.
the other thing is, life safety, Jude's team was also phenomenal. They were actually, the surveyors were commenting about how this is the model for a well-kept facility. And so, anyway, it takes a village. Thank you to everybody. It's really a phenomenal thing that we can say we've been deficiency-free 2 years in a row. So, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Godu.
This week I was contacted by the Derry Chamber of Commerce. Apparently, they've been devastated by the effects of COVID, and they've submitted a rather sizable, detailed request for a grant. And so I would just hope that we would have an opportunity to take a look at that, and maybe Chuck can review the finances to help us confirm what their situation is. And I'd like to give a little extra consideration to Derry Chamber of Commerce when the time comes. I don't know exactly when we're going to be reviewing those grants, but I think that we'll be doing some of that
Yeah,
soon.
yeah, I think I think Chuck's working on that, so we'll have a meeting on that. When we get all how the funds have been spent and whatnot. So, okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. So, for me, I just want to share a couple of things. So I attended the life safety meeting. Was that life safety meeting yesterday, Al? John Loss. Everything looks fine there. People that look at issues that we may have, they'll flag them. But everything looks good there. Also, I'm gonna let everybody know that somebody came in and dropped off a it sort of looks like a lawsuit, but it's 27 pages long. It names me and Scott Priestley on it, but it also named, I'm lucky, I guess, because it also names me again as a Derry Town Councilor and the chairman of the Derry Town Council, and then a few other people. It's quite interesting. We did submit it to Primex, and Primex is in Primex's hands for both the county and the town. It's 20, and you can see that Commissioner Coyle is laughing. It's very interesting. It's dealing with RICO laws, it's dealing with parental right laws, and it's dealing with a gentleman from Manchester, New Hampshire, but he doesn't really name Hillsborough County, he means Rockingham County. It's all over the place. But I just wanted to share it with my fellow commissioners, just to let them know. And that's it for me on my liaison. So next up, I put on the agenda the new building construction invoices. And before I stop and bring this part of it up, I do want to let you know that I did get a call from Jude Gates. Jude Gates is busy with New Hampshire DES. That's why she's not here. And I couldn't fail to mention that at the beginning of the meeting, but she's not here because of that. But I wanted to bring up the new building construction invoices. There was Commissioner Godu had requested some invoices, I believe, and he didn't get what he. I don't want to go into that, but I think he didn't see what he wanted to see. And then all the commissioners did get from Warren Street an email with, I want to say it was 11 pages long of pretty detailed records. So, first off, I just want to ask Commissioner Godu, did you receive the 11 pages originally? And if so, what's in those that you're requesting more information? I'm trying to understand that.
Well, this first round of requests was rather small, but there was no actual invoice from the vendors because there weren't very much in vendor activity from. It was mostly the payment on the bond.
Right.
It just lacked some detail. I appreciated getting what Warren Street sent the format they sent was much clearer for me to understand, and that was fine. What I'm looking for is Harvey Construction has done a lot of work in Salem and is very well versed in providing outstanding amount of detail for their construction invoices. They provide in their warrants that come in monthly, they provide every invoice that they're paying. They give a summary of what percentage of each of the invoices are. They give details on all of that. Additionally, and it's extensive. I have a sample that I haven't had an opportunity to distribute, just so that you can take a look at what the level of detail I think that we all ought to be receiving. Warren Street ought to be reviewing that level of detail, since that's what we're paying them for. We should have a copy for us to be able to review that. The report I have on hand is from their March warrant for the Woodbury School, which is an ongoing public project. It's about 200 pages long. There's lots of detail. In addition to that, Harvey also sends a monthly report that's an executive summary and tells exactly what's going on in each of the areas of construction, what level of what they found, what is anticipated, along with an update on the schedule and the progress that they're making. This is normal paperwork for them to be supplying to us to review, and I just think that we ought to be all having an opportunity to review that detail. So that's what I'm looking for.
You get this report, Ms. Adler?
Yes, I have a copy of.
No.
I don't get it personally, but the school board does, because they're the owner. In this case, we are the owners. The three of us have the fiduciary responsibility of the county to be certain that everything is going the way it ought to go. And I have no reason to think that it's not going well.
Okay.
I just would like to see the detailed reports
So the 11th.
in a timely manner, so that I have a little bit of an opportunity to read it, not just like the day before. But generally, these things are given to us, like the warrant that was given to us from Warren Street recently. We've had that at the county for 3 weeks before it was given to us the day before. So I'd just like to get the materials, once at draft form, early, so that we can have an opportunity to review it. That's all. I think it's our responsibility to do that.
Commissioner Coyle?
I mean, I think that stepping back, I trust in the process that we have in place, which is Warren Street. There's checks and balances at so many places in this process. This is not the invoice goes out and we need to review we need to look at every invoice, because the process is there are multiple people at Warren Street who review the invoices. There are multiple people here. Chart finance office, Jude, they have meetings to discuss and go over these things. We don't scrutinize. I mean, like when the sheriff's department was doing the tower project, did you review every invoice for that?
Yeah, they presented it to us, and they presented this to us, all 3 bids for the night vision equipment. We get everything from the nursing home. We get invoices. We get to look at all that. This is a $76 million construction project.
That's not what I said. When they were doing the tower, the invoices for the tower work, we didn't review that because we trust in the sheriff's department that they were reviewing things. They were making sure that we approve a sum, right? We approve the sum. We're not looking at the invoices for the tower project in terms of like what person you paid who constructed the metal, or those things, because that's not how we operate in the sense. And it's not about, we're not rubber stamping. What I'm saying is there's a checks and balance system already in place that does not require us. And in fact, I believe by demanding this like every invoice, which is, and I'm not clear from this conversation today. Previously, you had indicated that you wanted every invoice. I'm not sure if that's where you stand now. But I trust in the checks and balances system that we have, that when we're presented with a warrant, it is well vetted, we trust in our department heads, and we get sufficient data and information to approve or not approve the warrant. I knew when we went in last week at the 6th, for that, the bulk of that last warrant was our bond payment. So I don't, and stepping back, I have concerns with any single commissioner contacting Warren Street, contacting our Harvey without the will of the whole board. If you two decide you want to go forward with that, then listen, I get outvoted 2-1. But I don't think that we should be contacting Harvey or contacting Warren Street independently, directly, without having board agreement. So that's one issue. The second issue, I'm fine if we get a monthly report, but aside from what we typically get on the warrants and what we typically, and getting a monthly report, I think that's great. Then I think that would be sufficient for what we need to do. And it's not rubber stamping, it's trusting in our department heads and then following up accordingly.
Yeah, I'll just add something that's a concern of mine. I was contacted by Warren Street, was told that a commissioner had reached to employees of Warren Street. They felt a little bit on the spot, let's put it that way. I'm being kind with my words. And being told that if you don't get what you want, you're not going to sign that, and that's it. You're right. You don't.
I didn't say that for them.
Well, this is the information that I'm getting, but anyway. I share the same concern that I don't know what is transpiring between a commissioner and Warren Street or commissioner and Harvey. Because now you're acting in a capacity for the county. And unless all three of us know what's going on, that concerns me, because like we just said, that's not what we said, but I was told that was what we said. So now we've got the he said type of thing. And that kind of concerns me. So I just want to be careful there that doesn't continue going forward, because I don't know what the messaging is. And I'm concerned about that. So the other side of it is I'm the liaison to Jude. Okay, and you kind of went around me. You didn't go through me. You went around me and talked to Jude. And I get it. Sometimes those things can happen, but I would appreciate that if it's dealing with any of my liaisons, that you at least CC me or let me know ahead of time what the request is, so I know. It's just a respectful thing, I think, for our fellow commissioners, but I think moving forward, I don't want to, collectively, we can reach out to Warren Street, and collectively we can reach out to Harvey, because I don't want any issues coming back at us. We have a good relationship with everybody, and I don't want to jeopardize that. I'm not saying it would be, I'm just saying it could be.
In terms of as we figure out a process, why don't we have Jonathan come in from Warren Street? He can speak to us about their process, internal process, and then obviously, and Jude isn't able to be here because she's doing important permitting work, but we can collectively have a presentation from Jonathan about their process, about our process, and then reach a resolution about I'd be happy to make a motion next week about what it is we're going to expect, so that everybody's on the same page about what the expectations are, what the parameters are and how we're going to proceed accordingly. What I don't want to see is this project getting derailed because we're muddying the waters with, unnecessary demands. And so I would
I have no
propose that
problem, I have no problem with bringing Jonathan in. Commissioner Godu?
Okay, so. First of all, it's trust but verify. I trust them as well. They're good vendors. Warren Street and Harvey, I have no problem with them. They're excellent vendors. But I believe it's our responsibility to verify what's going on. And it is normal procedure for them to provide a detailed executive summary every month and also a detailed warrant that shows the amount of money that they're spending along with the invoices that go along with it. Now, so I just think it's our responsibility, and I want to do my job the best way that I can. And simply trusting the outside vendors that we have I don't think is adequate for me to sign off on, especially such a large project that's going to be ongoing for 2 years, that I simply want to protect the taxpayers to make sure that everything is going the way it should. We are the bottom line. That's why our signatures are placed on that. And I just think that we all ought to have an opportunity to look at the normal paperwork that they send. And again, I will provide you with at least one example of the style of paperwork that they send to other clients. This is not an unusual or unreasonable request. It's the normal course of business for both of these companies to be working with. Now, the other thing is, I'm not going to restrict my conversations with anybody because you're uncomfortable or you think that I need to notify you. The liaison situation is for the department heads to contact us. And because there's 3 of us, a department head doesn't necessarily need to have 3 conversations to make sure that we're all informed. The purpose of the liaison is so that that department head can contact one of us and then we would share whatever is going on. It's not the other way around. It's not that whoever is I'm the liaison for, like I'm in charge of that department, or I have to know exactly what's going on. It's a courtesy from the department heads to be able to contact us. That communication is coming from the department heads to us, not the other way around. Any department head, and I've spoken to just about every department head, not every department head at one time or another, when I have questions or concerns or just want to know what's going on and have a discussion. And I think it's perfectly appropriate. And I don't need to ask you and tell you that I had that conversation.
First off, I simply said, let me know. That's number one. Number two, I do think it's an issue when I'm hearing from Warren Street that you're bullying employees of Warren Street.
Oh, okay, so
Hold on a
let's
second.
address
Hold on a
that.
minute.
You use the word bullying. There was no bullying going on.
That's your say.
I
That's what
left
you
the
said.
message.
That's not what they told me.
I left a message for one employee who did not return my call. Jonathan returned my call, had a very polite and nice conversation with him. And he said to me, it would be better if you did all of the communications with me if you have any questions. And I agreed to that.
Right, because of how you handled it with his employee.
All I did was leave a message.
That's a problem. And you're
Leaving a
going
message.
to put the county in a very bad spot if you remain to operate the way you've been operating. We're simply saying, let the 3 commissioners know, we can make decisions all together and move forward, okay? I don't want any stalls in the building.
I don't want any stuff.
I don't want any lawsuit coming from a vendor that that the county is bullying them into, I want this and I want that, those kind of commands. And I'm simply going through protocol. Okay, when I get a call from my liaison person saying that Commissioner Godu is saying this and doing that, I mean, I have no problem responding with you. Others may, and we've had this discussion prior. So I'm just concerned that we have an issue and we vote together on how things go. So if you choose not to ignore that, that's on you.
Sure, Charlotte, maybe it'd just be easier to make a motion. And I move to, that the board, no member of the board should be contacting any either Warren Street or Harvey or vendor independently without discussion by and agreement by the Board of Commissioners at home.
I will second that. Further discussion.
You do not have the authority to make a motion to restrict my behavior or anybody else's behavior in this room. You do not have the authority. Make the motion, vote for it, and I will ignore it.
Okay,
I'll call the lawyer if you have any question again. He was really clear. We had this discussion with the lawyer already. He acknowledged that I did nothing wrong in contacting
I'm not,
Detective when I had questions or anybody else, and you would prefer that I didn't do that, but I'm sorry, we have a disagreement and I'm not going to change my behavior.
so this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do, Commissioner. We collectively will vote, all three of us, to tell and instruct Warren Street and Hardy not to respond to a single commission. We can do that.
demands are made. The issue here, Commissioner Godu, is not a conversation, but it's demanding to receive something.
Didn't
Wait,
make demands.
well,
I requested a copy of the invoices. That is a simple request.
but the essence of either
CPL.
your perception, it's not about your
That's a catch.
perception about about your conversation. It is about the perceptions and impressions of the recipient of whether you want to say demand or request. Your word is request, theirs are demands. Maybe it's not demands, but it is not about what your perceptions are, it's about theirs. And so here's the thing, the motion's on the floor
Right,
that we will not our contact in terms of making requests. Well, I'll use the request. We shall not make any requests of vendors or including but not limited to Harvey or Warren Street in the absence of a request to the board and an agreement by the board to make those requests.
okay. So there's a motion on the floor. On the motion, Commissioner Coyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Godu,
No.
I vote yes. All right. So now moving forward, I do believe that Commissioner Coyle had an idea of bringing Warren Street in. I think it's worthy that we should bring him in so we can, moving forward, if there's information that we want to see and on a timely basis or whatever we decide to do, I think that's a smart move. So can we have Jonathan see what he's available for a meeting?
Just Jonathan.
Do we want to,
Why don't you bring in Harvey? Harvey's the one that needs
that's
to
fine.
create the
Bring them both
report.
in, and then we can.
Yeah, if it's Dove, maybe Dove Jaffe.
Yeah,
Okay.
we could just bring, and then we can have, I think that would be the most instructive, then we can reach a consensus about what level of information we want to receive. Everybody can be on the same page so that, because it's also important that Harvey and Warren Street are on the same page in terms of what information is going to be conveyed, what level of detail, and we'll just make our decision collectively.
Yeah, that's fine. So you could bring in someone from Harvard too. Sure. All right, let's move on. We got county attorney office, a big waiver request for DocStar.
I move to approve the DocStar PIF technology proposal and bid waiver request in the amount of $11,785 for reinstallation of the software and 1 year of support, and authorize the chair to sign all necessary agreements as recommended by the county attorney.
Second,
Motion's been made and second. Is there any discussion? Not on the motion, Commissioner Godu,
yes.
Commissioner Foil?
Yes,
I vote yes. Assistant County Attorney, new hire.
I move to approve hiring an assistant county attorney pursuant to New Hampshire RSA 7:33-F as recommended by the county attorney with approval from the attorney general.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, on the motion, Commissioner Foil,
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I vote yes. Out-of-state conference request.
I move to approve an out-of-state conference and travel for 2 victim witness specialists from the county attorney's office to attend the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence Conference held October 22nd through October 25th, 2023 in Washington, DC at an estimated total cost of $6,000 as recommended by the county attorney.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Not on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Foil?
Yes.
I vote yes. Department of Corrections.
I move to approve an inmate administrative transfer dated July 6, 2023, transferring an inmate to Carroll County Department of Corrections pursuant to New Hampshire RSA 30-B21 as recommended by the superintendent.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Not on the motion, Commissioner Foil?
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I vote yes. Finance Office.
I move to authorize the finance office to process payments for fiscal year 2024 benefits related items, including but not limited to medical and dental claims, third-party administrative fees, various benefit premiums, stop loss fees, and workers' compensation claims as recommended by the Senior Director of Finance.
Motion been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Not on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Thank you.
Human Resources.
I move
Excellent.
to authorize the hosting of the 2023 Years of Service New Hampshire Association of Counties Awards events at the Exeter Inn on October 26, 2023 and November 2nd, 2023, as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I'd like to say that this event's gone on for the last 2 years. It is well received by all the staff and the Exeter Inn does a really nice job. So
They do.
I think it's a
It is
really-
nice, yeah.
it's just really well done. So I'm glad and for the, it's pretty reasonably priced given the, quality of the experience. So
Yes. Yeah. Commissioner Godu?
How much are we authorizing to do this? There's no dollar amount on this.
This is just to get the dates secured, then we ask them for a contract.
Right.
So this is just to secure the dates, and then now we move forward.
Okay. Any further discussion? If not on the motion, Commissioner Foil?
yes,
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I vote yes. Exception request.
I move to approve an exception request to the open enrollment deadline for a sheriff's office employee, KL, as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Easy mistake to make.
Yeah.
On the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Foil?
Yes.
I vote yes. Revised per diem wage schedule.
I move to approve the amendment to the per diem wage schedule for 3 positions effective July 2nd, 2023, as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? If not on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Foil?
Yes.
I vote yes. Rate adjustments.
I move
Back.
to approve wage adjustments for identified on-call dispatchers as outlined in the memo from Human Resources dated July 20th, 2023, as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
Motion been made and seconded. Further discussion? If not on the motion, Commissioner Foil?
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I vote yes. Fiscal year 2024 hiring grid.
I move to adopt the 5 revised hiring grids as outlined for fiscal year 2024, effective July 1st, 2023, as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Not on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Foil?
Yes.
I vote yes. Sign on bonuses, facility operator.
I move to approve a sign-on bonus for people for 2 full-time plumber positions in the amount of $10,000, $4,000 at 4 months, $3,000 at 8 months, and $3,000 at 12 months. Further, to approve a sign-on bonus for the full-time motor services technician position in the amount of $5,000, which is $2,000 at 4 months, $1,500 at 8 months, and $1,500 at 12.
Well, you're a second.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? If not, on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Foil?
Yes.
I vote yes. Conferences, meal cap amendment.
I move to amend the fiscal year 2024 daily meals cost limit, including reasonable tips and amounts to $87 for overnight conferences effective July 1st, 2023, as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussions? Not on the motion, Commissioner Foil?
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I vote yes, long-term care, adult medical daycare.
Yes, this is what I was saying. It's very nice to see these prices. I move to approve an adult medical daycare grant dated July 17th, 2023, Easter Seals for an additional client at an amount of $80 per day for 5 days per week as recommended by the Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services.
Motion's been made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
And it's been seconded. Any discussion?
I think that just as one of the things we're seeing is some of these residents attending that medical daycare are have memory issues. And you know, where there is such a limited amount of space for memory in the memory care unit here, as well as memory care is a real there's a lot of limitations all over, you know, in facilities everywhere, that if we can use adult medical daycare to help individuals stay at home longer, this is a real service to the community. So I think this is one place where it's really nice to see we have, you know, we can utilize medical daycare in this capacity.
Further discussion? If not, on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Floyd?
Yes.
I vote yes. Second request, please to say it.
I move to approve a adult medical daycare grant dated July 13th, 2023 to Easter Seals for an additional client at an amount of $80 per day for 5 days per week as recommended by the Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion on this one? If not, on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Foil?
Yes.
I will vote yes. Okay, adult medical daycare 3, it's actually so.
Yeah. I move to approve an adult medical daycare grant dated July 6, 2023 to Silverthorne for an additional client at an amount of $25 per day for 3 days per week as recommended by the Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion on this one? If not, on the motion, Commissioner Foil?
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Health Direct Pharmacy Agreement.
I move to approve the Health Direct Pharmacy Agreement and appoint the chair to sign all necessary documents as recommended by the Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
Strong contract,
This
yeah,
is the replacement.
Farm America.
Yeah, vendor that we needed desperately. So on the motion.
And the
Commissioner-
contract, they, you know, they accepted almost all of Primex's edits and modifications,
Right,
so it's good contract.
on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Foil?
Yes.
I vote yes. Out-of-state conference request.
I move to approve an out-of-state conference and travel for a long-term care services employee PM to attend the 2023 American Society for Healthcare Risk Management Conference held August 7th through 12th, 2023 in St. Louis. And at an estimated total cost of $4,900 as recommended by the Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Just that he's gonna, at the end, there's an exam in the end, and he'll get additional certification as a result.
Oh,
So,
that's good.
yeah, really good.
On the motion, Commissioner Foil?
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I vote yes. Sheriff's Office. Grant application.
I move to approve an application for the 2023 Justice Assistance Grant, JAG grant, in the amount of $36,467 and authorize the chair to sign all necessary documents as recommended by the High Sheriff.
Motion's been seconded and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Just to pass through for dairy.
Yeah, I think there's usually 3 communities that are
Yeah.
eligible,
Yeah.
some of the larger ones,
Yeah.
yeah, usually Derry.
Because it's based on how much like crime rates, and so the county doesn't have it,
What
so
are you
it's.
saying?
You need to do a better job in Derry, Brian.
And Commissioner, there's actually 3 towns this year. It's Hampton, Portsmouth, and
Which
Derry.
at the end, Derry.
Right. Good. That's- that's what I was saying.
We got Portsmouth too, all right?
Commission meeting on Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right, on the motion.
Dollars are headed to the report.
Good thing we're not picking on Derek.
Okay.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Foil?
Yes,
I vote yes. Another grant application, highway safety.
I move to approve the highway safety grant agreement, $14,400 and authorize the chair to sign all necessary documents as recommended.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion on this one?
This is for overtime for speeding and those things, but what about, how does it impact NERS and the other things that we're paying into as a result of, do we still have to come to those things?
I think there are some certain payroll expenses that we do end up covering. but I think this is the combination, because it used to be separate, like DWI hunters and
Yes,
101.
Yeah, now it's speed
Okay.
patrol, distracted driving.
Yes, it's all in one.
Click
Okay.
it or ticket, the drive sober, and get pulled over. And, but part of our required match comes from some of those things, like even like like the fuel in the vehicles counts towards the match of the grant. That we account for, and we do account for this in our budget every year.
And I tell you, that program definitely works. I mean, it's good. I mean, with, you know, all these agencies being short, especially the state police, and we're up there doing these grants. And I think that, you know, I think the state of New Hampshire realized that, you know, our stats are good and they're giving us this money and we're getting it done.
Right. Further discussion? On the motion, Commissioner Coyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Oh, yes. All right, department head updates. The sheriff's office.
We swore in our fourth woman deputy on Monday, which is phenomenal to have.
30 for 30. 30. Are you guys aiming for, no, seriously, the 30 by 30? Do you know, 30%?
30% by 30.
Yeah, 2030. The objective is like a lot of law enforcement are trying to have 30% of the sworn officers be women by 2030.
I just think it's phenomenal that, you know, I mean, sheriff history is we had one, you know, woman deputy, which is, but to have four of them now, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I would say ultimately our goal is always to hire the best qualified person.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm excited to see that these people are really coming through.
They're coming through and it's just awesome. Our part-time NCI technician starts on Monday. We've just been extremely busy with between civil processing and all the paperwork going on now that COVID's over. And these guys, I tell you, you know, our agency it's just, we've got it together over there, you know, and I'm very happy with all the employees that work over there, we're very lucky and we're fully staffed, except for maybe a couple, 2 or 3 dispatchers, which we're working on. So hopefully if everything goes right, hopefully by the end of the year, we'll hopefully be staffed up with dispatch too. But I gotta thank the county commissioners because, you know, when it came to, you know, wages and whatever for all these people, especially dispatch, it just worked out phenomenal that you realize that we needed to get this money up to get these dispatches and it's working, you know, it's working. Thank you. That's it.
Okay.
See you later.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, have a good day. Al,
care.
yeah.
We're working on right now, just setting some dates and times for the harassment and discrimination training. It'll be a 3-tier approach. The ODDs, managerial supervisors, and then staff. It'll come out in a 3-way type of approach. We're working on some MOUs for some things that have popped up that we haven't foreseen. The facilities use policy, it went through some revisions from Jason to myself with input from Jude. So we're ready to, I think, have a first draft copy go to Primex just for their review, which will go over to Layla for that. I have done some outreach to on-site childcare facilities as part of our feasibility study. Easter Seals in Merrimack County. I've also had communication with GHHS, the Child Licensing Unit, and they have, I had some information to them and they have finally responded back to me, which was exciting to get a response back from them because they're super busy. And we have a few just recognition for July, August, and September. July and August has gone out, so we hope those ODDs that have not submitted a name could please submit a name so we could get those gift cards out for the month of July and August. Not looking at checks specifically, but I'm looking at checks
So
specifically.
I think I thought it was current. I thought it was
And
caught up.
then, we do have the earned time cash out that went out and we've gotten a number of responses to that. Everybody is very excited about that opportunity. And the Motivate Me audit for Cigna for those monies has been completed. The tax forms were sent out to those employees that met the criteria for the different things they submitted for. So we're moving right along. So it's very busy. Thank you.
Thank you. Gonna go to Chuck.
Thank you for the warm wishes and welcome back. It's an interesting drive back up north.
By interest. Online.
It was a bit wet and lots of accidents, so I got reminded why we normally stick to the routes that are further out west from the metro areas. Let's just put it that way. Less people, less traffic, less accidents. Anyways, very busy with grants. Again, this is the month following a quarter end, so there's many different grant filings that are due. I did get the signed delegation minutes for the passage of the budget, so those were uploaded in the municipal services portal with DRA, as well as the DRA's form of the budget, which is our MS-42 form. And then the last thing that we should have, that we have to get in that portal so that we're all set for our tax apportionment. So we get our dollars, that are being charged to each of the towns that'll be due for December. Will just be our 6/30/23 unaudited numbers that the state calls it to be in their form MS-45. So we're in good shape. And actually the state finally, municipal property, they finally published an equalization survey from last year.
Oh,
So I have quickly done up, and within $1, usually I'm spot on,
Yeah.
the amounts that each one of those, each one of our 37 communities will owe for December 18th, because the 17th is on a Sunday this year.
Right.
So I can share that around to the commissioners. Usually property would have had this posted a lot earlier on the website, because I would usually try to get out. So if any of the commissioners are in with any of the towns, like budget meetings or just talking to the towns, you would actually have the amount within rounding that your liaison community or constituent community would actually owe come December. Unfortunately, property did not post that until just the other day, but I quickly did all the numbers. So I'll have Layla share that out to you. In case, again, you do meet up with any members in, town councils or select boards or what have you. Again, just overall very busy. It's obviously, we're into some busy payrolls with many different payouts and things going on, union rate changes, what have you. So it's just good to be back and look forward to year-end prep too. So thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, Chuck. Appreciate that. I'm gonna go to Robin.
Good morning, everybody. The IT department is working hard. We're in the middle of several projects across the county. We are getting prepared for a complete network security assessment that will kind of just identify whether we have some weaknesses and some recommendations to take care of those. This comes to us free of charge through the Department of Homeland Security. So it's a great thing. It's a great group of people that I've been able to connect with at our Primex quarterly IT conferences that we've been attending, Brenda Poggi from the Sheriff's Department and myself. And I think it's going to be a worthwhile assessment for us to just take a good look at things. And that's pretty much it. Just keep going.
All right, thanks, Robin. I'm gonna go to Superintendent Henry.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
See, as Commissioner Coyle talks about high volume intakes, it is summertime. That 27 was just over the weekend, and then obviously it's more during the week, so we'll see spikes all summer long. Guard tour, the one for our doing rounds in the building is coming along. Most of the data has been put in the background, so hopefully have that up and running soon. We organized a defensive tactic training throughout the entire state to level up some of our people who are certified instructors. And lastly, Central Square, which we're transitioning into for our new jail management system, and the Sheriff's Department's transitioning over to. We had our initial kickoff meeting, and we're working on the data and other things they need to get started. So when that happens, I'll have a better idea of how long it's going to take to get the ball rolling and implement this. And that's all I got right now.
Okay, thank you, Superintendent. I'm gonna go, who wants to take it, Michelle or Jason? Jason Smith, are you ready? Do you have something that you want to?
We'll let Michelle take it away. I'm of course on vacation, recovering from 8 surveyors beating me up for 3 days. So I'll let Michelle handle the rest.
Wow, it looks like you got a smile on your face, so it couldn't have been that bad. All right, Michelle,
Well, I guess I fared better than him because I was beat up by the same 8 surveyors and I'm here. But anyways, we had a very busy week. Yes, last week stressful, but very great outcome. So kudos to everybody. And I can only say everything that was nicely said by Commissioner earlier, that it is definitely a team effort. It is not just Jason and I, it's everybody else. And we just have a lot of great people that make us look good. So I'm very appreciative of that. So this week is kind of recovery from that. Our window for next survey in 2024 opens April 10th. So I'm prepping for that already. Nursing is busy looking at policies and procedures. I'm going to update those to match best practice. We're just, really just pushing forward to, just keep enhancing what we're doing. COVID is quiet, which is great. Very little staff illness. We continue to monitor those and have people stay out as needed, but really nothing to report on that front. And the residents are as good as well. So that's about all I have. Any questions?
Well, appreciate all your hard work. We're going to make Megan McGowan.
Good morning. Pat's apologized that she couldn't attend. She's attending a child advocacy center appointment. We're very busy in the office. The docket is full of trials, so all of our attorneys are very busy prepping and doing the trials during the weeks. We had a new hire a couple weeks back, and she just got sworn in yesterday, so we're happy to have her be able to be sworn in. And this new hire that you approved today, we're very excited about, and that puts us in a better position for attorneys being hired. So our main focus now is filling up the positions of our vacant legal assistants, which we still have. But other than that, we're very busy and working on all of our cases.
Okay.
We just have a walk-in request with respect to the county attorney's office with her. Do you
Oh, you
want
wanna
me to
read
do
it?
it now or do you want to?
Sure, you can do that now.
So I move to approve a general leave request for a county attorney's office employee KB with county portion of all benefits to continue for the period of June 29th, 2023 through September 11th, 2023, as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
Do I have a second?
Second,
The one who's been made and seconded, is it discussion?
I don't know anything
can-
about this.
Well, we can take it, I mean, it is. We can bring this up in non-public. I have the information, but but it's more appropriate to discuss in non-public and then we'll.
Okay,
Rebecca?
so do you want?
So I'll
to-
table that.
You want to table it?
That's fine.
All right, so on the table in the motion for now, on the Commissioner Foil,
Yes.
Commissioner Godu? Yes. I vote yes. Okay. I'm gonna go, I missed Kathy, Stacy, so on Kathy speak.
Good morning, everybody. All's well here. Everybody's enjoying their vacations here at the registry. I'll tell you, we just had 3 pretty big transactions. One was for 3.2 million, one was for 3.9. And the other one was a $6.6 million cash sale property on Little Harbor Road in Portsmouth. I'll tell you, the rich are getting rich, and I don't know what that's about. So other than that, you should know that I'm leaving for Texas tomorrow. To the National Association of Counties meeting. I leave tomorrow. I come back Monday late. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm traveling with Wendy from Grafton County. So it'll be an interesting, I mean, I'm not looking forward to the heat out there, but it is what it is. So other than that,
The hotel should be air conditioned, but bring back some good information for us.
gonna try. Thank you.
I'm gonna go to Layla, see if she's got anything she wants to share with everybody.
Yes, thank you. So the CDBG project, new generation that we discussed a couple of times during the Board of Commissioners meetings. I just wanted to put it on record that that project has been put on hold until probably 2025.
Okay, all right.
And I want to give Kathy Stacy a special thank you for getting her annual report in.
No, I'm not.
Oh.
And Layla, you make a good point that Kathy is #1 every year in a row. I think you're about like time.
That's because she puts it on her calendar.
She's
on it.
And it was like, read well done.
Very good. Anything else, Leila?
That's
it.
Commissioner Coyle, you had something to say?
No, I would just, going back to the awards that we had previously tabled.
Yes,
So I'd like to make those motions.
okay, go right ahead.
Okay, with respect to, so this is for Care renewals. This is number 5 on part B of our agenda, facilities operations IT. I move to award the proposal for Care renewals to block 5 for an amount not to exceed $12,857.84 as recommended by the IT manager and senior director of facilities planning and IT.
Second,
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Second,
yeah, second. Further discussion?
I will, just to, because I actually have the motion and the documentation support. Block 5 came in, significantly less than the other. Bid, so
and we've been happy with block
we've
5.
used
so-
them, we have a good working relationship.
Okay, so on the motion, Commissioner Godu,
Yes,
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes,
I vote yes. Another one?
yes. So with respect to Office 365 subscription, I move to award the proposal for Office 365 subscriptions to Tommy TQL for an amount not to exceed $79,187.78 as recommended by the IT manager and senior director of facilities planning and IT.
Motion's been made
Second.
and seconded. Any discussion?
I do.
Yeah.
Robin, I mean, and again, they were the lowest bid. Do we have any information about them in terms of?
We do not. They've come to us through public purchase, like many of our new vendors do. It's Office 365. It's a standard licensing. They have to basically follow the rules. So, you know, if it looks questionable, I'd be coming back to you, but I believe we're gonna be in good shape to renew.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay,
further discussion? If not, on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
yes,
Commissioner Coyle?
yes.
I vote yes. All right, we're all set. I'm gonna go to public comments. Just raise your hand if you have anyone from the public who wants to speak, please introduce yourself and you have time to speak. Anybody? Seeing no one going for that, I will take a motion to go into non-public.
I move to enter into non-public pursuant to 91A:3 regarding personnel matters.
Second, motion's been made and seconded on the motion, Commissioner Godu,
yes.
Commissioner Coyle.
Yes.
I vote yes. Thank you, everybody. Hope everybody has a good day.
Allison, you want me to go around the corner?
So, we were in non-public, we had addressed 2 issues. With respect to the issue number 1, I moved to seal those minutes indefinitely because, to disclose that information would be a violation of it.
Second. Motion made and seconded on the motion, Commissioner Godu.
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle.
Yes.
I vote yes.
And with respect to the second issue we addressed, I moved to seal those minutes indefinitely because it is determined that the divulgence of the information would likely adversely affect the reputation of a member other than this board.
Motion seconded and seconded on the motion, Commissioner Coyle.
Yes.
Commissioner Godu.
Yes.
I vote yes.
Okay. We have one further motion that we had tabled with respect to a leave request.
Yeah.
And patients. I move to approve a general leave request for a county attorney's office employee KB with county portion of all benefits to continue for the period of June 29th, 2023 through September 11th, 2023, as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
Second. Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? If not, on the motion, Commissioner Coyle.
Yes.
Commissioner Godu.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
I move to adjourn.
Second to adjourn and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
All right. I'm in a hurry today.
Two, where to go?
Oh, boy.
See you later.
Bye-bye.